This investment tanking looks at the adorable little M56 Scorpion American Tier 7 tank destroyer. It stimulates a lot of knee-jerk reactions when first seen, where people take a look at its statistics and shriek indignantly all over the forums about how bad it is. Okay, I'll grant you this, it has no armour, which makes scraping against other tanks painful. The game only says it has 1mm of armour because the game engine can't handle having zero armour. It's made of aluminium, like a Coke can. It's not 1mm thick in real life, it just provides no protection except from dust and light debris. The simple solution to dealing with the lack of armour is to not get shot, and the rest of the Scorpion's stats easily help with this. It has godly camo ratings, meaning with a bush and camonet you can usually outspot and fire upon enemies while still not being spotted yourself. The mobility is like that of a British medium. While stuck at 45 km an hour, you can go everywhere at 45 km an hour thanks to the 29 horsepower a ton ratio. With a tiny 200 horsepower engine, being only 7 tons certainly makes up for it. And then you have the gun. Oh god, the gun. A less than impressive 240 damage is compensated with a decent 219mm AP pen or 275 heat penetration shells. With no equipment, it can fire every 7.5 seconds and take a second off that if you use rammer and food. Aiming in 2 seconds to shoot as accurately as 0.33 dispersion at 100 meters, the gun can be truly lethal when used properly. And that's not exactly hard either. A massive 60 degrees of total gun traverse, that's 30 either side, and a whopping 10 degrees of gun depression make finding shots a piece of cake. Combine the mobility with the gun and you effectively get a reverse AMX ELC BIS, a tank destroyer that can pretend to be a lighter or medium. And I'm not joking on that part either. With the amazing camo you can afford to equip some binoculars and spot your own damage very close to the front lines with minimal risk of being spotted. I also recommend ambushing in very full positions. Just make sure you're bushed and netted, then wait for the inevitable idiot to expose themselves. Once you get bored of taking the back seat in the early game, you can start to get a bit more active in the middle stages, actively seeking enemies or traversing the battlefield to find some poor soul to crush. If you feel adventurous, maybe spot a ridge somewhere to get some assist damage for your team. Fact is, with a Scorpion you can really abuse your tank. Not physically of course, I mean I could reshape the hull with my fists, but I mean abuse the gun depression, abuse the small silhouette and the amazing traverse. You can get into the nitty gritty positions to support your allies and even flank enemies to a certain extent. Even enemies that think they're flanking you. Adorable. Late game, use your versatility to really go aggressive. In this match I was ninjaing around spotting for the artillery and other tank destroyers that were either too dense, too slow or too scared to do what was needed to win. So there, it's not as bad as everyone on the forums and internet communities are making out. In fact, I quite like it. It's similar in terms of playstyle to the E25 German tank destroyer, but it has a much better damage, penetration, gun traverse, gun depression, silhouette, blah blah blah. In case you forgot, I'm not a huge fan of German casemate tank destroyers. But, overall, is it a good tank? Despite the public's opinion, I'm saying yes. The Scorpion's overall performance makes up for the lack of armour, and when you think about it, if you're getting shot at in a tank destroyer, you're playing it wrong anyway. As to whether it's worth having, yes, for the love of God, yes. America has long needed a proper credit-earning, crew-training premium tank destroyer. Even as a bundle I would say yes, but if you're patient it'll probably come around and be available at multiple points in the future. XP, credits, they're all good. Other than that, just spend more gold and keep tanking.